Power to the truth. This is Peter S. Lopez, La Capita de Aslan, transmitting from Sacramento, California, Mother Earth, Milky Way Galaxy. What the difference a day makes. Today was Friday. I went to the NA meeting this morning, Narcotics Anonymous. I'm a recovered dope fiend. My sobriety date is June 24th, 2004. June 14th is my sister's birthday. And I think Chekhov's birthday. Anyway, today we had a fire alarm. And we had more fire trucks out front than I've ever seen here. There's actually a small kind of fire smoking on the 5th floor. I'm on the 1st floor. There's only 4 rooms here that are occupied. And so it did not really affect me here directly. I happened to be going to the store, so I was already outside. We had to wait outside for a while. It was kind of rainy, but you know, we survived. So now, big global news is that Tyrant Trump had the strikes against Syria behind the chemical weapons attack. And remember when Obama was going to attack Syria a while back behind the same issue? And there was such a protest online from other people that he had to stand down. But Trump did, and so this is his first major military attack since he became president. So we need to be aware of that. And he gave no real war warning, though. They did let Russia know beforehand. So it's a very volatile situation, and there's difference of opinion about whether we should have done it or not. I think we should not have. We should have investigated more. And if you recall when the Iraq War kicked off, how there was the WMD, weapons of mass destruction, the investigation going on. There was a scientist, I think his name was Hans Blix, B-L-I-X. He was examining, couldn't find the WMDs, and he wanted the U.S. to hold off before they did anything aggressive. Anyway, the U.S. went in, no WMDs, over 1 million Iraqis dead behind that. And we're still in Iraq, we're still in Afghanistan, we're in Pakistan. The U.S. has over 1,000 military bases around the world. And I want to talk a bit about how when we say our government did this or our government did that, or we have this or we did that, and really it's not me. It's not you. You don't own the government. I mean, not even the American people own the government. The government is controlled by Satanists, evil corporate capitalists, globalists, fascists. So when we say our government did that, or we attacked here and there, and like really, we should specify the U.S. military did it. And we're faced with, Eisenhower talked about the military-industrial complex. It's gotten worse. It's a military-industrial intelligence complex. We use the word intelligence here loosely, as in CIA, Central Intelligence Agency, so be aware of that. I never bombed any country. And be aware in terms of how we use the power of the word to describe reality. Try to be more accurate. I haven't smoked marijuana for years. Going on 14 years sobriety, and if I do anything, it will probably be marijuana, maybe ayahuasca. So the whole situation in Syria is going to develop more, and my concern is that it could trigger other events. Like say if they want to have a no-fly zone over Syria, Russia would be against that. We could get involved in an air war with Russia. I was raised in a world where, you know, Russia and the Red Army and all that were like the fear of that. I remember in junior high we had these air raid drills where we had to go out into the hall, squat down against the wall with our hands over our head like we were going to be protected. It was insane. And talk about getting people paranoid. And so, many of us of that generation were raised, you know, to think of Russia, of the USSR as the enemy. And many times, political beliefs that parents have can be passed down to their offspring, to their children. So there's a lot of anti-Russia sentiment. You can't say USSR because there is no USSR anymore. The Union of Soviet Socialist Republics. And Putin has done what he can to rebuild Russia. He's done a marvelous job. I respect Putin, P-U-T-I-N, more than I ever did Obama or any president. If you check out Putin online, the dude's sharp. He was in a KGB master. He was head of KGB. It's like being head of the CIA, Russian version. So he's gone through struggles, you know. I've checked out his biography online and stuff, and he's a very interesting man. He's a martial arts expert, master, and he'll hold a press conference for hours. And he'll take questions and he responds to questions. And he's, you know, that's, to me, that's marvelous. Without a teleprompter like Obama used to use. He'll just sit down there and hear questions, answer questions, and deal with it. That's a man. So you need to get rid of any anti-Russian feelings are anti-Russian thoughts. And see that in a way, see, fascism uses the other to keep us in conflict. The other could be the Russians. The Russians are coming. The other could be immigrants. The other could be aliens. You know, so don't let people toy with your mind. Use your mind, come to your own decisions, come to your own conclusions. Analyze, analyze, analyze. I'm a proponent of analytical thinking. Analytical thinking. I'm not going to spell that out. Our people use the term critical thinking. I think critical thinking reminds me of someone who's walking around like, you know, the constant critic. But I prefer to analyze stuff. What I like about David Icke is that he'll give his analysis of a situation or a subject, and he gets pretty deep. Though I don't agree with everything anybody says, I respect David Icke, so check him out too. I'm not into the hologram theory, but this is all just a computer simulated hologram. I would say it's connected reality. And this is real. And I look at this here now of connected reality as a primary reality. It's the reality in which we can see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and as a kind of sixth sense, use our intuition, our ESP. It is here. It exists. And the existence gives it a reality. Now, as far as the substantiality of it, how Einstein said something like, reality was an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Reality is an illusion, although a persistent one. So we need to see the power of the persistence of connected reality. And I study all kinds of stuff, you know, I read all kinds of stuff and I see all kinds of videos, so I'm not perplexed about stuff. I'll analyze it and see if it has any merit or any substance, and then I'll either park it on the side or reject it or consider it for further analysis. So we need to be that way in our studying, when you study. Hopefully that we're all students of life. If you can, read Pablo Freire, F-R-E-I-R-E, Pedagogy of the Oppressed. Pedagogy. Pedagogy is the art of teaching. The art of teaching. And we learn from knowledge. And knowledge could be direct or indirect experience. Especially direct experience, what we have experienced in a direct way in our lives, through our sense organs. So we need to understand that knowledge is power. And power is the capacity to, first of all, analyze connected reality, and then to change it in a positive, productive, progressive manner. We just can't, or we can, but we should not be satisfied with what we know. We should have a kind of mind that has a thirst for information, a thirst for more knowledge, so that we can develop, as time goes by, a philosophy on life. A lexical definition of philosophy is like a speculative inquiry into the source of knowledge. Speculative inquiry into the source of knowledge. And that's just a lexical definition. There's a stipulated definitions are those that we stipulate, well, this means this or that to me. Where we stipulate what a certain word or a phrase or a concept means for us. So keep learning. Check out your sources of information. Stick to a concrete analysis of concrete conditions. Concrete analysis of concrete conditions. Or factual analysis of actual conditions. And in that sense, you know, where you become more and more of a scientific thinker. More and more logical. More and more rational. Along with that, we should become more and more humane. Humane. More and more compassionate. This is one of my kind of an addiction here. Not commercial. God, I used to swig down quarts of beer. So I hope that, you know, we stay aware of what's happening, what's going on. And if you don't have a dictionary, I suggest that you get one. I have a big Spanish dictionary and a big English dictionary. But generally, I'll just look for a word online. Not everybody's online. And with my cell phone, like I can speak into it to Google and get information. So remember that power is being able to define reality, or one aspect of power. And I think words have the potential to be powerful. Like when someone says, I love you, or someone has told you, I hate you. What powerful words. So we need to be able to use the power of the word to help raise consciousness and to help to educate, to liberate the repressed mind, to liberate the mind, to free the mind of its bias, of its prejudice, of its misconceptions. And in a way, it's kind of brainwashing, where we wash our brains of incorrect ideas that generally come from class struggle, scientific experimentation, material protection. So be open to different ideas, not so open that your brains fall out. You know, use your common sense. Just aware quality beliefs, aware quality common sense. That's why it's called common sense. Many times we get so caught up in situations where we go by what the corporate media spits out. We go by what the rumors in the village. We go by what our brands say. We forget to use our own minds. You know, the mind is a marvelous thing. It's not more, it's more than just the brain. I think the mind is can be an interdimensional power that we have. And within that mind is our consciousness. And consciousness is the unified field that connects all of us. So I can go on now, but I'm not going to get too wrapped up into it. Just wanted to share that for today, and keep aware of what's happening in Syria. You know, study the history of Syria. Just have a general understanding of Syria. It's the same with Iran. You know, when the U.S. first got involved in Iraq, a lot of people didn't even know where and how it is. It is where it was. Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, you know, all these ands, and 30 different countries. So that when you're in a group with other people who are intelligent, you can hold your own. You contribute to the conversation. And we looked at as someone who has intelligence. I could be wrong, that's just what I think. I hate the stereotype of stupid Mexican. So, maybe I got a complex because I never got a college degree. And on the other hand, I studied what interested me. I studied what I was curious about. I didn't just study something because the teacher said, or because the school. I studied what I wanted to study. And to me, that's helped to keep me sane. I keep the mind active. I should keep my body more active too. So it's Friday, it's quiet here. I guess I'll just go back into my research. I love you. Love yourself. Love is a cure. Love is a cure for so many things. Resentments are kind of like a form of hatred. So get rid of your resentments. Understand yourself. Love yourself. No matter how people are, I still love them. I love the variety of people. I love the complexity of people. Study, study, study. Power to the truth. I'll probably get this out tomorrow. Love you. Take care.